Welcome to the Carr and Seguin Show, hosted by Devon Carr and Paul Seguin, where two Michiganders dive into real estate, outdoors, community building, and everything in between. Hello, hello.
What's going on, man?
Anybody out there? Said
Doody.
E.T.?
Right? Phone home.
What's up, man?
It's another day, right?
74.
Yeah.
Episode 74, 140, halfway to 148.
There you go.
We are climbing the ladder. We are following the assignment. I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the assignment is?
No.
I don't either.
But I will say, speaking of climbing the ladder, we moved to Plymouth, and we got a nice little house-like office. And I'm on the second floor.
Oh.
So, midday, I've already reached my 10 flights of stairs. It doesn't show it on the camera, but I've been doing good.
Is this a bathroom on the first floor?
There's one on the first. So it has a basement. There's a bathroom, and it's got the main floor.
Yeah.
Bathroom. Then it's got my floor, which I guess would be the second floor. There's a bathroom, and then there's a third floor. Yeah, I guess.
Who's got the third floor?
There's no bathroom there, but
There's peeps up there?
yeah,
Yeah.
a few of them.
So they're the one that's really making
They
the
are.
strides.
Yeah.
Every time they gotta use the restroom.
Yep.
Up flight, down flight.
I went up to ask somebody up there a question the other day, and she's like, you can call me. And I said, I know, but I need the exercise.
You get
and
the
I like to
stairs.
see your face.
Yeah. Why call?
Right.
We don't got to go back to that COVID crap.
Right. She's like, okay, I was just letting you know. All right.
I got to come check out the new office.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just stopped down there and got ice cream. Should have called you and brought you some.
Yeah, you had breakfast.
I know.
You had breakfast.
At the island.
Yeah.
The Greek island.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. Greek something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, downtown Plymouth's great.
Yeah, it's a nice little town.
Did you ever go to Pad Thai? Or not Pad Thai, Tyocha?
Yeah, I went there Friday.
It's good.
It is good.
It's good.
And, Becca she gets Pad Thai or whatever.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, she'll bring it home from work because they order it. And I didn't realize there was tofu in it. And then I was reading, the description. I was like, I swear this is what she gets me. I don't remember no tofu.
Yeah.
And then I got it. I was like, yeah, this is it. And you didn't really notice the tofu until I got a good-sized chunk of it.
Yeah.
And it was like chewing on rubber. It was squeaking.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yeah, it's official. I'm not a tofu fan.
It was squeaking.
Yeah. It was delicious. The meal itself was good. And I didn't notice it till the one decent sized cube of tofu. But
Yeah.
I'll get it again, but maybe I say whole tofu if possible. I don't
So I always get KP3. That's all I got to remember.
KP3?
That's it. KP3.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you what it is.
But it's delicious.
That's always
Do you choose your own meat with it?
KP3 chicken medium.
Chicken, okay.
Chicken medium.
Yeah, I got medium. I like the medium.
Yeah. It's perfect level of good little kick.
Yep.
Nothing overdoing it. But
Right.
it's just right.
Yeah. Don't have to feel it in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good.
It's sometimes I surprise myself. I could scrape that thing clean. Clean. And I'm like, did I really just eat all of that?
Right. Yeah.
Like, you could have stopped.
Maybe it's the noodles. I mean, I ate the whole thing.
So I get the
I
rice.
know my wife wouldn't be surprised by that, but
Yeah.
I ate the whole thing. I don't know what kind of noodles they are, but I mean, if I eat a big bowl of pasta, I feel it.
Oh, yeah.
But I felt fine after I ate it. I don't know if it's the noodles or.
So I just get
Or
rice.
what?
I'm a rice guy. Brown rice, chicken. The KP3, I don't know what it is. KP, is it Kung
Pao?
Kung Pao?
Kung Pao chicken.
Kung Pao chicken? Something like that?
Which is delicious.
Is that
If
maybe
that's what it is.
It might be. It's actually making me hungry for it.
It's good.
Should probably text Jess in the room. I'm like, you want some Thai food tonight?
KP3? Question mark?
Tyocha. Tyocha, dude, was the guy there, the owner?
No, it's just a
It's a lady.
young lady.
Oh man, the owner is great.
He might have been there.
He's like,
I just walked
hey,
in.
Paul, yep. How you doing? Okay, good. KP3, right? Yep. I mean, quintessential. I mean, like poster tie owner. He's great. It's been there forever. No, I'm gonna find out real quick. Hold on. Let's find it. I want to find KP3. Let's pull up DoorDash's menu. KP3 is. There it is. KP3 is Cow Pod. It is the, Cow Pad Pak is KP3.
Okay.
It's vegetable fried rice with choice of meat, egg, baby corn. Those are good.
I like the baby corn.
I do too. Bamboo shoots, bean sprouts, carrots, broccoli, Napa, and pea pods. $17.50. Good Lord.
But it's not. I don't know. Because that's what I was looking at.
It's
when
more
I
like
ordered.
$13 or
yeah.
something.
And I was like, I get it. And then she's like, it was 10 or 11. And I was thinking to myself, I swear I saw it's 17. And then, I was looking at their menu because then the menu's all over the counter.
Yeah.
I didn't see anywhere where it said 17.
Yeah, and you're never going to say anything
So
when
maybe
they tell
it's
you a cheaper price. I mean,
maybe it's if it's delivered or something because you got to order it off didn't you have to select like DoorDash or something?
Yeah.
So maybe that's what
they're adding
that
some
is.
Juice onto
Yeah.
it. So they're like their delivery fees already baked in.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Kind of.
But it's delicious.
Probably not. It's like VROB does, right? They charge the booking person a fee and the seller. It's like shouldn't be right. Don't you think?
Yeah.
They're double dipping.
They are.
I mean, I guess, hey, more power to you. It sounds good, though. KP3.
KP3. I'm going to have to get that.
Thai Ocha in downtown Plymouth.
Maybe I'll get it on Friday.
That's right across the street from me, too.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not far.
No.
You got the park right across the street, the big City of Plymouth Park. Used to be the old middle school.
Yeah, they got the gyms right across the street.
Gym. Yeah. Bodie's. Don't go there.
Where's Bodie's?
By the train tracks to the east of your building. It's a small little diner right next to the train tracks.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. They say
unless it's improved.
Is that Brody's like corned beef or something?
Yeah. Don't go.
Okay.
Don't go. Okay. For those of you who like Brody's, I'm sorry. It was a really bad experience. I mean, we used to go, not like a ton, but we used to go a time.
Mm-hmm.
Jess used to go there. She used to, for years, work in downtown Plymouth and always went there. And then we went there with, maybe it was just Savannah. I don't know, it was just the service was horrible. The food sucked. The hot dog was like when you smacked, literally, it was like, yep, we're leaving. Straight up an announced dine and dash. No. Call the cops you want. We're out of here.
Right.
No, there's good food choices. Ironwood
Yeah, I
Grill.
heard somebody got that today. They were ordering it.
Ironwood.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot.
Stella's look good.
Stella's is good.
Yeah.
Was it now Black Dog? Or is it Stella's?
I think it's Stella's Black Dog.
Yeah. We love, one of our favorite, Jess and I, favorite places to go is Pizza Vino. Cellar 889 or something is I think the real name, but it's right down Penniman, across from the Penn Bar. It's a pizzeria joint. It's fabulous. Okay. So if anyone loves, what's the name of the pizza? Artistian? I'm saying it wrong. Thin. It's like really thin crust.
Yeah. Okay.
Wood.
Mm-hmm.
Wood.
Artesian.
There you go. Wood grilled pizza. That kind of stuff. It's phenomenal. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
They took an appetizer off the menu, which we were pissed, but they still make it actually.
Oh, secret.
Yeah. Just tell them. I forget what it is. I don't know. Some like.
Just say I want the secret app.
Jess knows it. She always is one like, yeah, order the appetizer. Like, oh yeah, we can still make that. It's like, why'd you take it off then? She's like, I know everyone asked for it too. It's like, then put it back on.
Right.
It's like the same thing at Carl's Cabin.
Uh-huh.
One of my other favorite restaurants. They still have yet to put it back on the menu is the Polish platter.
Okay, I think we've talked about that.
Yes. They still have not. And last time we went, I made a fuss because I'm going to until they do it. And they're like, yeah. The lady was like, yeah, I don't know why they don't because we get asked that all the time. I'm like, why not then?
Right.
Like, I should just, next time I go there, I should be like, can I talk to the owner himself?
Yeah.
He's probably here, right?
Yeah. He wants to talk to me.
Get him a beer. Let's sit down and chat.
Yeah. We're going to figure this out. We're going to hash it out.
I'm not leaving until you have in writing on a napkin that you were putting the Polish platter back on. No, it does remind me a ton of Legs In. Like, it's that good. Polish perfect platter. I mean, it's kind of almost the same thing I get at Legs In is you got your, stuffed cabbage, your sauerkraut, your Polish sausage, your pierogies. It's just all one delicious platter. It's good stuff. If they had it on the menu, because I live very close to them, it would be bad news. And that was one of the things that it was weird because that's when it came off. Is when we bought his.
You made him take it off.
I made him take it off. They heard I moved nearby. Like, we can't keep up with this guy.
You were going to be one of those people on Triple D where they say, yeah, I come here at least once a week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Paul, we got it. We're ready in 15 minutes. See you soon. They just know you.
Right. Yeah.
One of those clients are like, oh, yeah, just the norm.
Yep.
You got it.
Yeah.
Just sit down.
Yeah.
I'll sit at the bar waiting for it to come.
Your booth is ready.
Same.
Yep.
Yes. Hey, hi.
Yeah. Oh, you're new.
When did you start?
Yeah.
Oh, are you the owner? No, I'm a regular.
Yeah.
I do want to become that somewhere as I get older, right? I mean, you see all the old couples that go or the random dudes or the regulars. Like, why not? You have your spot, right?
Right.
Carl's Cabin's great. That's gonna be my spot.
We like Carl's Cabin.
I mean, according to Jess, that's where we're gonna die. So
there you go.
Might as well make Carl's Cabin my spot.
Right. They got a nice bar.
Oh, they got a great selection of beer and everything. It's a great restaurant. Yeah. It's a little pricey, but
most are these days.
We'll make sure Grayson makes it to the PGA Tour or Live Golf and pays for all my normal stops.
Your bar tabs.
No. But so, topic of the week that we want to talk about is the difference of buying and renting.
Right. I mean, everyone says you should buy. It's better for you than renting. And then they say some things. And then you go, oh, okay. But then to visually see it is a different
I'm aspect. A big visual learner. Like, you could talk to me all day. I mean, Jess knows this after 8 years of being married. I'm like, you just got to show me.
Right.
Like, I need to see it.
I'm the same way.
We were just talking about this morning. She wants to in our front, I think it's a bow window. I got to get it correctly. It's not a bay. It's a bay. Bow. No, maybe it is a bay. No, I don't freaking know.
It's a window.
It's a window.
Right.
But there's a difference. A bow is like, I think all the windows turn. They keep turning on an angle and then comes together. Where then I think the bay is the two windows with the flat, big front.
Okay.
So I think that's what we have. I don't know. I might be wrong.
Sounds great.
Correct me if I'm wrong, audience. Let us know. Comment on the video. No, she just was this morning. We were going over the window and it's been 2 years since we installed it, and we have yet to either paint or stain the windowsill.
Okay.
Right? Because it sticks out.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so she was like, well, I'm thinking of staining it like a similar color to the floor so it kind of like matches. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know.
I was just telling you what I'm going to do. I really don't care about your opinion.
Well, that's classic. For those of you who know, that's classic Paul Seguin. Always got to question something, don't you? Especially my wife. I love you, and I know she loves me, but that's, no, and I was like, you just got to show me. Like, did you find this from, I don't know. To me, it just makes sense to, just do white. Just do white all the way around it. Mm-hmm. No, because the windowsill is on the bottom, but then the wood goes around and goes up top.
And it's brown?
Right now, it's just a very light wood because it's unfinished.
Okay.
So, and she just said she wanted to stain it the same wood color as the floor. I just probably be fine. Just probably should shut up. But, yeah. The point of that was in what we were talking about of being what?
Buy versus rent. Visual learners.
That's right. Yeah. Visual. Thank you.
Visual.
Hey. We got audience laughing over there, don't we?
That was a good save, Paul.
Yeah.
I just lost my train of thought because I said I just got to shut up. And I'm like, well, not literally, but I should just shut up more often. And I know my wife would be happy with that too.
No.
Yes, she would.
You keep her on her toes.
She keeps me on my toes. I'll be flying high in cloud nine all day. But yeah, just visual learners. Same thing. I love numbers. I could stare at numbers, crunch numbers. Sometimes I think I look at my bank account way too much just to look at numbers. It's like, I already looked at this 5 times a day. It didn't change much. But yeah. So, Grant, we have if we could get this up on the screen.
He did good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Oh, I like how we can kind of almost see each other. Yeah.
Well, you can cover me up. I don't know about this new camera angle.
I know. It shows off the
You got turned.
dad bod.
I know. I know they're in, but still.
We'll fix it in post. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
You can make us look skinny.
Totally.
Oh, yes.
Suck it in. Yeah. Which way's the weight room? That way. This is awesome. But so we actually got this graph is from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're coming. Gold Star. Gold Star produced this. But what it's breaking down, obviously, is buying a $180,000 house
Wayne County.
in Wayne County versus renting. So as you can see on the screen, buying is in blue, renting is in purple.
This is if you were to live in your house for 7 years and hypothetically sell it.
Correct.
If you wanted to in 7 years.
Yeah, very good point. So all this data is when you buy a house today and what it looks like 7 years later, comparing it to where if you were renting,
Right.
and then stayed renting for 7 years in that same timetable. So we'll start on the very top, estimated cash flow. So your monthly principal and interest, which is your mortgage payment. So it's not including taxes and insurance, which a lot of people, I'd say a lot of people typically get escrow that into your mortgage payment, taxes and insurance. I do. Peace of mind. I don't even got to worry about it.
Right. All your bills get paid.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, as long as the mortgage company doesn't screw up your escrow account.
Right.
I will put an asterisk to that. But so this simply is just your principal and interest. Right below it does actually say, I'm sorry, property taxes and insurance. So it is including it. Dummy. Should just look down the line here. Maintenance and repairs. So they're kind of actually throwing in a little, you're doing some good budgeting here.
Yeah.
They're being ultra smart. I'm not even that smart. No, actually, that's wrong.
I think you are.
She does. She does budget. Annual maintenance. $100 a month, put it away.
Right.
And so they're showing at $75 a month. That is very smart. Being a homeowner, I will say there's always going to be projects. Not to sound fearful or scared to buy. There's a lot of satisfaction in doing things in a home you own. Right?
It's not necessarily things that have to be done, but you look at it, you go,
you just
maybe
do it.
I want to do it.
Yeah. And that's the beauty.
Right.
Besides renting.
Right.
You always got to ask your landlord if you want to do something. But then at the same time, you're like, do I even want to? Because I'm not benefiting from it. Sure, while I'm living there, it's for my benefit. But if it's something that stays in the house or has to stay once you're done with it,
why would you do it?
Why would you do it? You're not getting any return on it. Your landlord essentially is.
Right.
Which you're already paying him money to live there. So, property taxes and insurance is estimated at $529. Maintenance repair $75. Comes to a total expense of $1,644. So, they're adding this up 7 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Total cash flow 7 years. So that's how many months? That's 1270, 984. Right? 84 months. Does that make sense?
Maybe 16.
Oh, add in with an
44.
interest rate. So
Yeah,
there you go.
That's your principal and interest.
5.99 interest rate with total APR of 7.456. Do you want to explain
7
the audience?
years is, like you said, 139,916. That's what you spent essentially on your home.
Correct. Over the 7 years.
Yep.
Buying year one. Do you want to explain to the audience of? Yep, go ahead.
And then that's if you bought a home for $180,000 with 5% down.
With 5% down. Do we have that on there? Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
On the bottom. Yeah, because it's only 173.7 and a 30-year fixed.
What does it say? Original loan amount. So it's with 3% down.
3% down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it says,
Yeah, it's
at the very bottom. Yep. So that's with you buying a house at $180,000, 3% down with an interest rate of 5.99, which I'll tell you guys, this will drop in 2 weeks. So this will air on the 24th of August. So from when we're actually recording this to when it drops is a 3-week window. But, I mean, I could tell you right now rates are even lower than 5.99. Pending qualifications. You always got to get qualified for your interest rate, y'all. Okay? I said it, not Devon. But if you qualify, right now rates are lower than 5.99. Just so you know, guys. You double checking the numbers here?
Yeah, I had a couple different ones. But I believe this one's FHA.
This one's FHA?
I believe so.
Well, on the bottom, it says...
Yeah, because it's 3.5% down. The original loan amount's 173.7.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one, and that's what your principal, your property taxes, insurance, that's including your mortgage insurance as well. FHA required.
And the 529?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Which is PMI, right?
MIP.
MIP. Mortgage.
Insurance.
Mortgage insurance.
Premium.
There you go. I was hoping I was letting the
Conventional
mortgage guy do
private
it.
mortgage insurance.
There you go. Private mortgage
Yep.
insurance.
Because there's only so many companies that offer mortgage insurance that you have to choose from. And then, obviously, FHA, the government,
Does their own.
chooses it.
Yeah. So essentially what that is, do you want to explain why that comes into play? For the audience who does not know. Why would you have to have PMI or...
Okay, so mortgage
MPE.
insurance, yeah. Conventional, if you put more than 20% down, 20 or more % down, then you can opt out of escrow, where you don't have an escrow account. You just pay principal and interest every month, and then you pay your tax bill twice a year and your mortgage insurance or your homeowner's insurance separate.
Right.
If you put down less than 80%, it could be 80.01%. You would still have to have an escrow account, and you would have to have mortgage insurance. And then once you reach 78% loan to value, if you do decide to put less than 80% down, then it does fall off. FHA requires you to have mortgage insurance. If you put more than 10% down, 10 or more, then it does fall off.
On FHA.
Eventually.
That's good to know. There's a difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
But mortgage insurance essentially insures your loan.
Right.
I mean,
For the mortgage
right.
company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of just separate from homeowners insurance, which insures your house, this insures your loan.
Right. And that's the sweet spot for maybe you don't know, like 20% equity is where lending essentially feels comfortable.
Yes.
With their loan.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where there still, I think, exists even today that I have to put 20% down. Right?
Yeah.
And that's not true.
No.
But where it's all really come from is, I think, I may be wrong, but back in the day, it was a standard that you may have had to put that much down because that's where the lending wanted it in order to lend.
Well, I mean, even the whole mortgage, I got to put 20% down so I don't have mortgage insurance. I mean, when somebody says that, follow-up's kind of like, do you even know what mortgage insurance costs?
Yeah.
Because it could be minuscule.
Right.
I mean, essentially, if you had plans to do something to your house, I mean, maybe you put 15% down and say, I mean, that hypothetically left you an extra $5,000 in your bank account to do it. And then, I mean, with your mortgage insurance, if it was cheap enough, maybe it would take you 10 years to pay that mortgage insurance till it equaled $5,000.
It's true.
So, I mean, essentially, you put $5,000 down extra
just to
not have mortgage insurance, but at the same time,
it's so
cheap. I mean, it would have taken you 10 years to.
It's a good way to look at
even get $5,000
right
towards it, which by that time it probably fell off.
Which is it's a similar comparison to what we're even doing right now, right? Like in a way of like when you buy a house, and we'll keep going on this, but when you buy a house, you're building sweat equity in your house because you're paying yourself,
right?
Where you're going to keep more money in your pocket, essentially, to where when you're renting, you're just losing money,
right?
You know,
and it might not be money that you see. I mean, we've talked about this, but like that principal, even though that you're paying it, you don't see it. You see more going away.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, you're just putting it into a different savings account.
Right.
You look at it every day. It's not in a number form, but it's in a physical form.
Yeah, of your house.
And then if you need to pull money out, I mean, that's where your equity is.
Mm-hmm.
You're just pulling it from a different, not necessarily a
bank.
A bank, like your bank account.
Your house is a bank.
But it is a bank.
It is.
I mean, you're just taking it out of a different savings account. That's all you're doing.
Right.
That's what all your principal is going to.
Yep. And you can't do that renting. You
right.
can't say you can't go to your landlord.
I paid rent the last.
Hey, I've been with you for 2 years.
Yeah.
Which at $1,000, I've now paid you $24,000. Can I loan? Can I get half of that back on a loan? And be like, what? No.
Right.
Sure, I'll do that, and then your rent's going to go to $1,500.
Right.
On top of that.
Right.
And so I think that's a big part of what this graph is showing, right? Where when you're buying a house, you're getting, and that's another thing that is, I think, a big discussion factor of when looking at buying and selling is like we're doing right here. So let's not get ahead. So rent year one. So now we're moving over in the graph. Let's say you're starting off on a rental house at $1,700 a month.
Which they say is roughly what that size square foot house would get.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yep. And rent has just got astronomical.
Right.
Lately. I mean, you got everyone, we all talk about how high homes have appreciated over the last 2 years. Guys, rent's right there with it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many clients have we've had that are literally buying because they're sick and tired of getting the rent increases.
Right.
That's one that we're doing right now.
Just increasing. They said it's going to increase more by the end of the month.
And you're talking not just $25, $50. I've heard clients say 100 to 200 plus increases on their monthly rent bill, which is insane. That's huge. I mean, you talk about homes appreciating 12 to 20%. I mean, I think that's almost even more than that when it comes to rent numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think rent has increased in the range of in some cities 30 to 40%
Right.
over the last 2 years. So, I mean, I think that alone has been lately an argument that I've been telling is like, guys, okay, so continue to rent and be in the same boat at worse numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing that I would point to in this graph, you guys remember blue, you're looking at the blue numbers here, is buying. That's a consistent bar.
Yeah.
Because you're getting a mortgage at a fixed rate.
Right on this graph.
The only thing that would adjust, and this always gets explained anyway when you buy houses, your taxes are going to change. Your homeowner's insurance is going to change. So over the years, if you always stuck with the $75 monthly maintenance and repair budget,
right,
your monthly mortgage expense will go up based upon taxes will increase over 7 years. That's a guarantee. The government wants their money.
Right. It's nothing that will get you out of your house.
Yeah.
It's not like you're paying for a couple of years, say hypothetically, $2,000 summer taxes, and then all of a sudden they bump it up to $4,000. So you don't have to think it like that. I mean, it does go up with the appreciation of the homes,
but if you do have,
it's minuscule.
Yeah, it's small.
Yeah.
But if you have it escrowed, the escrow is going to increase for that now $50 higher tax bill.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
They normally send you, say there's an escrow shortage, and you can either pay the difference to keep your payment the same, or you can just
spread it out over 12 months.
Yep. Yeah. Raise your payment, and obviously you know your situation at that point. So if you don't care,
just let it roll.
Just let it roll.
Let it roll.
If you don't want to, get a little extra cash, you don't want your payment to change, then pay the difference.
Pay the difference. Right.
Keep it the same.
Yep. And that the point of why I'm making that is because you see the graph on the right side where you actually see the data on the left played out in a bar graph over the 7 years. You're fixed in at a payment per month when you are buying a home, right? And I know some people are like, yeah, but now the maintenance comes into play. Well, be smart, like this graph is telling you to be smart, and put money aside every month and plan for that in your budget to say, okay, even though I'm moving in day one and there's nothing that I have to do today, there will be down the road.
Right.
Right.
So, and realistically, this is like the perfect scenario.
Correct.
Let's look at from day one, your mortgage payments are already smaller than your rent. And that's not always the case, obviously.
Right.
But maybe after year 2, year 3, then it flips. So just if your mortgage payment's more now than your rent, it doesn't mean that it would be
not still wise to do it.
Right, because 3 years your rent's going to be higher than that mortgage payment is. Potentially.
And not only talk about what is shown below here is your appreciation gain.
Right.
All right. We haven't got to that stuff yet. But it just shows you we'll finish on the top part and go to the appreciation and amortization gain is if you see your rent and they're anticipating a 5% rent increase per year is where the rent numbers are coming from. And, of lately, it's being pretty conservative of a number. But I think it is a very normal rate as well.
Yeah. I took, for this one, I used historical
annual
forecasting rate for home appreciation and for rent.
Right.
So, I mean, same with home appreciation itself. I mean, if you used recently, it would be numbers would be a lot higher in the green than what they show. But this is taking historical data appreciation for this county.
So, at a 5% increase per year on rent over 7 years, you will see that your rent monthly goes from $1,700 to almost $2,300 a month. Now, just so you understand, on year 7, let's just even go to year 4. You are now sitting at $350 difference. Year 4, you're at a $2,005 rent payment to the landlord, not to yourself. And at year 4, your monthly mortgage payment is still at $1,644.
Bingo.
Did not move. And then at year 7, you're now almost, you are at $600 more for that same place that you can't do anything to.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really want to do anything to. And let's be real. Like, there are a lot of good landlords out there. And I don't want to take that away. They're good operating business. But there are some landlords that, like to leave old appliances in.
Yep.
If it ain't broken, I'm not going to fix it. Hey, does the stove still work? Yeah, but, it's like 20. So, still heats your food, right?
Right.
Your microwave still pops your popcorn?
Right.
And again, there are really good landlords out there that will do a very good job at taking care of the home and doing what needs to be done to keep the house in a good living environment.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to go buy new stuff.
Right, no matter.
You could, and they may let you take them when you leave, but it's like,
you're really not going to go buy a new fridge.
That's $1,500.
And it's because, then what are you going to do with the one that's in there?
Yeah.
Because then you're going to be like, well,
go put that in the garage so when you move out, I can put it back in.
Yeah.
Well, then I just lost garage space.
Right.
That's even if you have a garage and a rental.
Right.
And this goes hand in hand, not just, it's apartments too, right? Like you're not gonna be able to do anything when it comes to that. Shoot. I could tell you the stories when we rented before we bought. Our dryer would work whenever the heck it wanted to work. I just had a client even say this, and I 100% attest to it. Like, utility bills in apartments are, like, awful.
Mm-hmm.
And I know any of you guys listening who are currently renting an apartment, like, you are overpaying for your utilities. Like, if you feel, I might be hitting a heartstring right now. If you're listening, it's like, yeah, I feel like my utilities are just high. Dude, they are. I remember when we first bought our first house, I'm like, wow, this utility,
it's not as bad as you think.
We were budgeting like $200 a month at the apartment. Now it's like $120.
Right.
Like, it just gets cheaper. Just even the utilities.
Right.
I don't know if it's just like the way they built apartment buildings back in the day. Like, absolutely no insulation.
Probably not.
I know the one that we
Probably
were
weren't
at, the
doing
windows
spray
suck.
foam.
Yeah, they weren't doing spray foam back in the 70s and 80s when apartment buildings were all just massively being built. The windows suck. They're not going to be in a hurry to replace windows when there's like 800 of them in a apartment complex.
Right.
We've had roof leaks, and it's not fun having to call the maintenance guys, or half of them are coming off a weekend bender and not wanting to do anything anyways. Yeah, I'll send the other guy over there.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well,
we'll get to it when we can.
Yeah, that dang leak came back, huh? Yeah, because you didn't fix it the right way the first time. You just put a Band-Aid. That's all you did. So, it's just stuff like that where your rent's increasing. You have those experiences. Those are firsthand my own experiences. Roof leaks, dryer would never work. Utilities were just stupid every month, like over $200 a month for, heat and gas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it's like you can't just say, hey, I want to change out the carpet.
Right.
I'm not paying for that.
Yeah, why would you?
Appliances were crappy. Literally, I'm just thinking of my own apartment. I'm not even talking just out of my butt. These are literally
personal
our own renting. Good old Plymouth Wood Drive, Livonia. But you see the total amount spent over 7 years with those 5% year-over-year rent increases of $168 $1,000. I mean, we had a client. Well, no, they had. They were in the park, but still, they paid the rent, the lot rent, for what, 22 years. This is a prime example. When we went and bought their house, they didn't have anything to show for it.
Right.
You just paid the rent for that lot every month, every year.
When they sold, they didn't get anything back.
No, they had a hard time just selling the stupid thing, and the community itself was making a whole big fuss over it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had to help them out with a couple of things. I'm like, why are you guys being a pain? Like, they bought a house, y'all. They're leaving, okay?
Right.
Stop trying to get more money from them. You know? Like, golly. That's a lot of money.
It's amazing when you look at it. I mean, just to think about it. Even what you spend on your own house. I mean, when you really look at a number, think about what you make a year, and then you look at a number like that. It's like, do I really spend that much on living?
That's $30,000 more. And think about it. Like, I mean, for a $180,000 house, I mean, we can find a house for you at $180,000 where over 7 years, you're not going to have to spend $30,000 in the house.
Right.
If that house has got a newer roof, a newer HVAC system, heating and cooling, your big ticket items in a house. I mean, we talk about this with clients all the time. If the house has got good bones, foundationally is solid, right? We check that inspection. But if this house has a newer roof, newer HVAC systems, the plumbing's been updated, electrical's been updated, like, guys, we're just talking cosmetic now, right? And I know you can probably say, like, well, what about the kitchen, Paul? What about the bathrooms? Is the basement finished? Hey, you know what? That doesn't matter to most people.
Right.
So it's still cosmetic. Does the kitchen function? Is there a refrigerator? Is there a stove? Does it work? Is it nice? Is it clean? Mm-hmm. Is it move-in ready? Yes. Okay. Well, then, I mean, shoot, we are still living in the house that we bought 2 years ago, and that kitchen's, all we did was paint the cabinets and call it a day.
And it's working.
It's fine.
Right.
We're good with it. I'm just a big believer. Ain't broken, ain't no reason to fix it.
Right.
You know? And we'll get down to that kitchen rehab soon. But it's like, you could get a really nice house for $180,000, and I'm telling you, you're not going to, unless, God forbid, a tornado came through and destroyed your house. Well, then you got homeowner insurance for that. But anyways, $30,000 you're not going to be spending on your house. Because I know that's always, when I've had these conversations with people, this is where they go. This is their scapegoat for saying, no, I'd rather just rent. Yeah, but they take care of everything. I don't have to cut the grass. Okay, well, there's condos. I can find you a condo if that's the kind of life you like. Then we got to talk about HOA. But besides the point, it always comes to well, now I have to take care of a house. There's good to that, though.
Right.
Because now you're in control. Right? I've lived it. I know it. And if you're not agreeing with me, you're just in denial. It's frustrating having to wait on somebody else to fix the problem in your house.
Right. I mean, I think today's world, people get frustrated if you don't answer them in the first 2 minutes.
Or call you back in an hour.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're getting text messages and all kinds of things. It's like, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'll get to you.
I'll get to you.
It's not like it's 3 days later. I mean, we're just talking about
a
few minutes.
Yeah.
An hour. Not even 24 hours.
But yeah, and it's just simply that when you own your house, the responsibility, yes, is on you.
Right.
I'm not arguing that. But guess what? It's on you to then fix it. Means that either A, you can learn how to fix it, and
YouTube.
I mean, dear Lord, what can you not look up on YouTube to learn? I mean, honest to God, I mean, anybody can do anything now because of YouTube.
Right.
Anything. I mean, shoot, I can't tell you how many YouTube videos I watch about crypto, and I still don't understand it, but
those aren't the best how-tos.
Yeah, but no, when it comes to, I mean, gosh, when I was doing my office, I mean, I had my father-in-law who's phenomenal. literally, it helped me big time about doing framing. I had no idea how to frame. And he showed me. But then, like, a lot of the little stuff, sure, that was just YouTube it. Boom,
Right.
YouTube it, boom. You know, because he showed me how to frame, but then I was, when you're doing the drilling into the concrete for the floorboard.
Yep.
And, you know, like, I was having a little struggle with it. Well, I just pulled up freaking YouTube, and the company itself had videos
Yep.
of how to use the concrete screws, you know, and little tips. And it was perfect because I can't remember what it was, but I was using it wrong. I think the drill setting was wrong. And then, just, oh, this is easy.
Yeah, right.
Just had it on the wrong setting here.
Should have looked at that first. Reading the directions.
Yeah. But I think because it is such a common response, like, well, the maintenance, it's maintenance, it's maintenance, it's maintenance. Well, here's a prime example perfectly in what Devon put together. Budget for maintenance. Not only just say, okay, hey, great, thanks, Devon. My monthly mortgage payment with my property taxes, with my homeowner's insurance is without the $75 budget, it's like $15.70. We'll just say that
right.
something real quick. And but then add into your budget per month $75 or $100. I think that's what we do. We do $100 every month into just a side account. And for you who don't know, a lot of banks will allow you to open up sub accounts in your checkings. If I pull up my friggin' bank app right now, you will see like 12 bank separate accounts. And we
different things.
Yeah, they all have different names.
Vacation,
yep. Kids,
right,
school, home repairs. You name it, like car maintenance. There's every little thing that whenever we get paid, right? Because I'm commissioned, it's just like bloop, 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 bloop.
Right.
Certain amount, everything just goes right into all the accounts, and it's just there. That's what you got to do, so that when things do come up, you're like, oh, it's not a stress. It's
right.
not the response you're giving me to where, like, oh, but now all the maintenance on me. Great. For water heater goes. I got the $1,500 in my account already. I save for it. It's not a burden. It's not hard.
We talked about that with Matt Pizer, too.
Yeah.
Wealth planner.
Mm-hmm.
If you budget, if you really looked at what you spent on things you spent, you could probably be like, well, I could cut that out or do that once a week instead of 4 times. And when you physically look at it like this, it puts it a whole another perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we talked about, I used to have a guy that used to go drink coffee, I think, every morning with his buddies. And he took it down to like twice a week because his wife said, well, if you did it twice a week, then you could go on 2 guide trips versus 1. And that's what he did.
Paid for itself.
Right. And that's what he did.
When we first got married is what we simply did. We did the whole Dave Ramsey thing, and you sit down and you literally pull 3-month statements of bank statements and you start categorizing until we built the whole Excel program. I think it was my idea. I was kind of proud of it. I'm like, why don't we just build this out in Excel here real quick? And then you can just simply track where your spending is going.
Right.
And then it's like, holy crap, we spent $400 on eating out. Like, why don't we limit that to like $200?
Right.
And then boom, guess what? The van payment's paid for. All in what we were spending on going out to eat.
Right.
Like, the money's there, y'all.
You just need to
track and allocate it correctly. And I get it. It's hard. Trust me. It's not like I'm perfect at it. We've had a lot of months that are like, wow, we're over budget by like a couple grand. Where'd that month go?
Yeah, that'll happen.
Uh-huh. But, so I think just to speak to the top bar graph, you're still seeing a huge chunk of money. Because I don't want you guys to miss this either, though, is it's not only $30,000 in difference of what you're paying, but that $140,000 that you've now paid, your mortgage is pretty dang low after 7 years, right?
From
that $173,000 loan is, over 7 years, probably what now at $140, maybe a little lower than that. I don't know if you have a chart on that.
Can't read it.
Is it on here? Is it on the same picture?
Yeah, but it's below it.
Scroll down if you can there, sir.
No, it's below the amortization gain. So your remaining principal would be $155
after 7 years.
After 7 years.
So, guys, now you're also sitting on another
$18,024.
Yeah. More. So now so that's the best way. Now you're actually producing not only the $30,000 savings in your rent to home buying, you've added $18,000 in the same time so you're actually now put 50 G's in your pocket.
Plus your appreciation in the 7 years.
So we haven't even talked about that yet. So your appreciation gain, 70, starting home value, 180, forecast appreciation, 5%, 5.2.1. It's perfect. That's normal, by the way, if you all have been on the moon for the last 2 years. 12 to 20% is not normal. 5% is. So over 7 years of holding, and this speaks very true to right now, right? We're obviously in this slow market phase, right? Everyone's like, ooh, what's going on? What's happening?
Yeah.
What is fear? Home is crashing. No, it's not. It's getting back to normal. I've been saying this on previous shows. I'm saying it again now. We are getting back to normal. Normal is 5%, y'all. 5% appreciation. If you hold buying real estate, like there's very few clients that I've had that will simply tell me, yeah, hey, I want to buy this and sell in 1 year. Then we obviously we'd be looking at our whole search is completely different. Yeah. Or 2 years. What's the average homeowner that lives in the house? I think it's
7.
I think it is 7. I was going to say 7 to 10.
Yeah.
I think is a solid range of how long someone stays in a house. Prime example. Not only $30,000 difference in your rent to mortgage payments, your equity that you are gaining now down paying your mortgage, but the most beautiful thing of owning real estate, and history will back this statement up and you can't argue me at all. Homes appreciate. And you're like, oh, but what happened in 08, 09, dude? Okay. And where are houses today? Try to argue me that.
Right.
Well, I mean, but this was in training. I know I'm not talking about what happened in 2020 and 2021. I'm talking take a house before COVID. And from that period, what happened? It appreciated a hell of a lot.
It didn't stay down.
No.
Right.
And let's all get this clear for the 100th millionth time. The real estate market crashed in 08, 09 because of a real estate related issue that was going on. That because now of all the red tape and policies, it's, I wouldn't say nearly impossible, but it's pretty hard for that to happen again.
Yes.
Very hard.
Well, I mean, there were so many homes. There was way too many homes.
And they were just giving money to anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody.
I mean, now you still have, applications are down now, so that's why another good time to buy. You don't have to fight with everybody.
Correct.
Because purchases are down, applications, and there's still shortage.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge shortage of homes for all the buyers. But, there's a huge shortage, so, and building permits are down a little bit, too. So, they have a long, it's not necessarily homes that need to sell, it's homes need to be built is where a lot of our shortages right now.
Correct. 100%.
When it crashed, people were buying their third or fourth home. If you have not watched The Big Short, it pretty much explains everything. What happened.
Everything.
No disrespect to any strippers or anything out there. They were buying 3-4 homes, and they weren't Las Vegas strippers where they could potentially make a lot of money. I don't know, but I haven't done a mortgage for one yet. But if you're out there, I'll do it.
I'm down.
But they were buying 3-4 homes.
There was no limits on lending.
Yeah.
There was just
now
crazy.
It's a lot different.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that happen again.
No, and they put a lot of policies and regulations in place so that it didn't.
Right.
And so I don't know. We're human, the way that we're just built, right? When something happens and we lived through it, it's hard for us not to associate to it, right? That's natural. But I always keep coming back to just the simple fact of data that this is what is always holding my argument strong, is that homes are always going to appreciate over time, right? I mean, it's even talking with investors. I have a young lady who wants to get in and start getting rentals, right? And the conversation we keep having is she's got there now. I've had her talk to another big time guy who's got a lot of doors, and it was the very same conversation. We had a three-way, and it was kind of me just repeating it. And sometimes some other people just need to hear it from somebody else to really truly let it sink in from what you're saying. And it was just simply like, hey, your cash flow might not be exactly where you would like it to be. But you also said you're looking to get multiple doors, so the cash flow will increase as you add more doors. But the biggest thing that you have to realize, ma'am, is like over time, you're building a ton of equity in your portfolio, which is then going to lead you down the road to just do more.
Right.
Because like you said, you can pull the equity out of your rentals to then go get more or do more or use more, refinance, get your cash back out. Like, you can play around with real estate. And I think the point where I'm getting at is just recently, not everyone, but there's been a lot of people like, whoa, I'm putting the brakes. Interest rates are just too high. Guys, stop marrying the interest rate.
Yeah.
If the house is right for you and it's the next step in the next chapter, the next step, the necessary move that has to happen, I'm simply telling you, not forcing you, I'm telling you, don't do that move just because the interest rates are now in the 5s. When your buddy that has been telling you to move for the last year or 2 years and you never did is sitting on a 2.7.
Right.
And you're just like, oh, you're bumming.
I mean,
don't.
We talk about it. I mean, and we do it. I mean, you can get approved for potentially for a lot more than what you even care to spend. And you and I both, we say, what do you want to spend? What do you feel comfortable with? And we've said this before, and that's the homes we look at. I mean, if you felt comfortable with making that payment, who cares what your interest rate is?
Yeah.
Realistically.
All right.
I mean, obviously you care, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, the payment is what you feel comfortable paying.
in paying, right.
I mean, if you love the house and the payment's where you want it,
there's no reason not to.
Why would you care what your rate is at that point in time?
Right.
I mean, you get the house.
You can always refinance.
Right.
6 months later, you can refinance. If rates are better.
Right.
If they're not, wait it out. Boom. Once the rates make sense, you have a conversation with Devon. Right. Rates are lower, man. So what are we looking at? Right. Does it make sense to do this?
Did you get a raise? Do you want to take 5 years, 10 years off your mortgage?
Yeah.
I mean,
go to a 15.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
a lot of different things you can do.
A lot.
But it takes with one, you have to buy the house, and then you build up your equity slowly with the appreciation plus making your payment. I mean, that's all. You just make that payment, just like you do with rent.
I mean, shoot, it's like my parents' first house. They bought that in like early 80s with a 13% interest rate for $35,000 in Livonia. They sold it in 2020 for $250,000. Now, if we were going to have that same conversation today because rates were so high and be like, oh, no, not going to do it. I mean, they raised a family in that house. Right. They did tremendous work to it, built on it, approved upon it, and sold it for $250,000, which my dad would be like, he even told me, he's like, if you were to tell me 10 years ago that we were going to sell our house for $250,000, I would have said, you're stupid.
And then somebody's argument will probably be like, well, he bought it for $35,000. Things are different now. It's like, yeah, but it's all relative.
And it's going to be different 20 years from now.
You make more money now than what they did.
That's what I keep saying. I go, history will have my back on this argument all day long. Why? Because history will tell you that 20, 30 years ago, doesn't matter what time you take that 20, 30-year chunk in the chunk of history, something of the same product costs a heck of a lot more 20 years ago or 30 years ago than it did that day. So even if you moved the bar back to like from 1920 to 1950, well, yeah, that car is now 150% more cost.
Right.
Right? Costs 150% more. I mean, it doesn't change. And history will tell you that. And I think it's sometimes, maybe I'm a long thinker and sometimes we're too very narrow-minded in what it is today and not see the long picture. And that's why I think sometimes we're here. It's what we're supposed to do. It's not just buy you a house and say, hey, see you later.
Right.
You know? No, that's not what we do. But this is why we wanted to go over this, because it just speaks to, I think, what a lot, I do. I think a lot of people, especially with the rates, are like, yeah, but is it the right time to buy? How is it not?
Right.
How is it not? You want to continue renting? Isn't there some around here where it's like 0? Yeah, tax benefit, 0. Yeah,
Now that changes depending on what tax bracket you're in and everything like that.
Yeah, but I'm saying when you rent, you have no tax benefit. You can't write write off the interest on your mortgage.
Yeah.
You can't write off the taxes that you pay. It's not like you get a ton, but you still make some effect. Right? I mean, I think if there's anything from here for you, those watching and listening, that can take from this, and I hope that this is what you take from it, is simply that there's a lot of options with real estate. And just because you bought a house today at $599 does not mean that that's where you're stuck for 30 years.
Right.
And
maybe that's what people don't understand. I mean,
I do.
Obviously, you're a first-time home buyer. You hear the word refinance.
And they have no idea what it is.
You have no idea what it is. You're looking to purchase your home, not necessarily look that far into the future. And that's what, when somebody gets a rate, that's what should be explained as well. So, hey, it might be this right now, but there's multiple different things we can do down the road.
Right.
You're not stuck there.
Nope.
We can do all kinds of things. Who knows what happens in your life that changes? We can make adjustments. Obviously, everybody wants you to, something bad were to happen, we can do other things.
Right.
You're not stuck. Just because it's a fixed rate, 30 years, there's very few people that pay the same thing every month for 30 years.
Right.
There's very few.
Very few. And I think a good
if somebody did do that,
loan
they should
originator
get a
like yourself, I'm sure you're gonna touch base and just say, hey, how's it going? How's life?
Right.
Anything changed? Right? Is anything, and then whatever. But then it's also, hey, I'm just looking at your file. It shows that you're still at $599. Were you aware that rates are $425 right now?
Right.
And I would be more than happy to show you, like, hey, we could do this, we could do that. Do you want to stay at the same mortgage payment? Are you comfortable still there? Do you want to lower it?
Right.
Because hey, we could flip, or we could pull some cash out. Do you need some money? Do you looking to do some upgrades? Do you looking to consolidate some debt? Whatever. And I think that's the beauty of owning real estate that maybe just overlooked in just the fact of a lot of this is the big information right now that rates are high and homes are out of control. Dude, the flip side is renting when it comes to homes, right? You can only rent or buy.
Right.
Or free boat
Squat.
in your parents' house or something, right, I guess. But that's going up just as much. It's not like, well, renting's easy and it's still down here. It's cheap. It's easy. No, it's gotten insane. One of the guys I do a business with, and he owns a lot of homes, he's like, dude, if you were to tell me I was going to get $2,400 a month in Redford, I would have laughed. But I did. And they love it. That's just where we are.
Right.
And like I said, I understand that there's always times of life or seasons of life that it makes sense financially. But, when I look at graphs like this, guys, and you see appreciation gain of $76,000.
7 years.
Dude, that's more than what people make in a year. And all you did was bought a house 7 years ago. And that's what you're sitting on. And now that is equity that you have the freedom, because you own it,
right,
to use to whatever, just some of the things we just said. You want to buy a boat.
Right.
You want to buy some Yeti coolers. I don't know.
Yeah. The world's your oyster.
Or you're simply taking that money out of your house to use for a down payment on a second house, on a cabin, on a cottage, on a, whatever. It could be the options are limitless.
Kids through trade
college.
school, college,
yeah,
whatever.
And you're also gaining the loan is down $18,000. Net gain of buying a house, $100,000 is what we're I mean, look at the big difference. Just own the house 10 years, and you're sitting on $185,000. Guys, that's a lot of money.
That you've lived in.
Yeah, and you've over the years, you've budgeted, you've
Right.
taken care of things. When things break, you put new in. Guess what? That's going to add value to your house. Probably even more than what our graph showing 5% is going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not taking into consideration if you do big jobs. If you financially were able to put a pretty sick kitchen in.
Right.
That's more value than just 5%. This is just market value.
Right.
If you did nothing to your house.
The $75 is for maintenance and repair.
Right.
I mean, not any kind of home projects necessarily.
No, because they cost a lot more than that.
Yeah.
But, but it's just to say that, like, we saw this big time in the last 2 years, right? Where, I mean, you have houses that were, let's just say, they needed a lot of work and were just selling because that was just the market that it was. I mean, it would probably for a long time go down as the craziest real estate market, ever for sellers. And it's still a great time to sell when you work with the right realtor that prices your house correctly. And I'm selling this to anyone who's thinking of selling. You have to kind of be mindful of that things are slowing down. So just because that house that sold 2 months ago or 3 months ago or 4 months ago for $450, now in our slowing down market doesn't mean, all right, well, that's now our solid comp. Like, yeah, it's a comp. But let's also just price it accordingly, knowing that we're not going to see 100 showings like that house did.
Right.
Or 20 offers like that house did, which led them to get $450, right? The mind's and the market's shifting. So we got to just price it accordingly.
Right.
We'll still do good. We'll still do well. But you got to be mindful. Because you're seeing that too, where I think we're seeing a lot of it where people are still, well, that house just sold for that.
Yeah.
But 2-3 months ago, it was a little different. Like, hate to say it, but it was.
Well, I overheard a conversation from an LO and their client the other day, and he was talking about the house that just sold across the street from his or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I know it. He was asking, is there a way to figure out what it appraised for? And obviously there's not.
Right.
And so he's like, yeah, well, I know it's not worth that. I know
it didn't appraise for what it sold.
I know it didn't appraise for it. And it's like, it doesn't matter.
It's now a comp.
Somebody
wanted
it. They wanted it that bad. They paid the difference.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it appraised for. That's what it is now.
That's what it is now.
Yeah.
Right. And it's now a comp in the sub.
Right.
And it's always in mind to that is like you kind of got to realize, okay, when did that happen though? And now where we are now.
Yeah.
It's not to say that, oh, your house isn't worth the $450, but in the new market that we're in, we do have to kind of play a little more strategic play of saying, okay, that got $450 because of it was before the little slowdown came, right? So you do the same thing. You do the market analysis, right? What does your house have? What do they have? What do they don't have that you have, right? We play that game of making sure, okay, is your house potentially maybe even more than $450? But if it's like an equal house, I mean, my call on not knowing the very fine details, but I would even say, hey, I would list a little below her just to create that enthusiasm in the market just because it is slower.
And I think it, like I said, I overheard the conversation, but
it's a funny question. It's
my theory, what I heard was,
can we find out how much to praise for? No,
he wanted to put an offer on a house that was buy it.
Yeah,
and he was like, well, I know that didn't appraise for that, so I want to lowball essentially what it was listed for because.
Yeah, but any house moving forward, the
I
appraiser
know.
is now using
and
that
that's what
number
had to be explained
in that sub. Yeah,
explained to him.
Yeah, and that's where we saw. That's why we had this huge appreciation because of what was going on in the market. Homes are selling 20, 30, 40, 50,000 over. Well, guess what? Now that's a sold comp for the next house in that sub that sells, right? And that's, I've had to explain that too to people. It's the same stuff. It's like, well, that house wasn't worth that. It don't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter. Someone thought it was.
They now just raise the bar for that sub because of that comp.
And I know
like,
somebody.
what's going to happen? Like, no, you're good. The appraiser has to use that number now on that house, the one you're buying. Oh, so it should go up. Yeah, we should be fine. Like, we'll be good. I mean, out of the whole 2 years of craziness, I only had one appraisal come up short, and it was with you, that one guy. Yep. I don't mean to mention names.
Right.
But, and just luckily enough for them, and those guys were putting a lot down, didn't really make a difference. Anyways, yeah. But just to say, yeah, I mean, it's not like, I don't think, sure, maybe I did my homework like every realtor should be doing. Right. And advising their clients to say, no, I think this should appraise based upon comps right around here. We should be okay. Right. And I know I had a couple where a few clients were like, dude, if this doesn't appraise, I'm like, don't worry. We'll be good. And it did. And sometimes even more.
Right.
You're concerned over the appraisal coming in, short when you're given a guarantee, and it's like, well, frick, now you're sitting on an extra $10,000 already.
Right.
And you were concerned?
Yeah.
But hence, yeah, it was crazy times. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to look at these numbers and not say, well, I'm going to rent. I'm just going to stay renting.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, you're just kissing away $101,000. That's all you're doing. More than that. Because I would add the $30,000 difference into those numbers. Because you're going the net gain of me buying plus the $30,000 if you were to stay renting on top of that. So to rent today or buy today, you will say goodbye to $130,000.
Crazy.
I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer to me. Prove me wrong. That's what we should do. Like, we're a big podcast. Prove me wrong, audience. And wherever you are, we will fly you in to prove me wrong on the show. On Grant's money.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
I didn't see that section on this little chart of yours.
You
So.
didn't see it? No,
I didn't budget. I didn't budget for the.
It's down below
Yeah,
somewhere.
the fine print.
For the Gulfstream money. I didn't budget for that.
Yeah. No, they can fly commercial. We're not that big yet. Yeah. That's not our money anyways. So Grant will pay for it, whatever.
Right.
Wayne Media's doing good. I've heard some of your payrolls. I was thinking about getting a job now. But yeah, no, I think I think just numbers don't lie, and that's why I think I love numbers so much. That's why math was always my favorite subject. You can't skew the numbers. It is what it is.
Right.
I mean, sure, you can cook QuickBooks or something. What's that big company? Enron.
Mm-hmm.
Enron found a way to do that. But,
for a little bit.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. But no, when you crunch numbers like this, you can't argue what the numbers tell you. It's, I think it's always has been. And I think it's always been that way for a long time. I think that's why it's always been told that buying and owning a house is always a great investment. I know there's some people like, oh, the house doesn't make you a dime until you sell it. So what? Yes, it does. I mean, it makes me money over time. And when I do sell, it will make me a boatload of money. I'm sorry if any of you listening and says $100,000 isn't a lot of money because it's 2022, you're just a loser. $100,000's a lot of money.
It still is a lot.
It's a lot of money to a lot of people.
Right.
So you're rude. I mean, shoot, $23,000's a lot of money to a lot of people.
And if you don't think it's a lot of money, then you can pay to fly in, and we'll argue on
there
the show with you.
I agree. Yeah. If that's you, then you can fly your silly
Well, no, I think they should
here
fly
to the show.
Us to them.
Yeah.
There we go.
And pay for Grant's expenses and our hotel and flight and
Hell
rental
yeah.
car.
Yeah.
And we each want $50 stipend a day for steaks.
Yeah.
Not 50. I want 100.
Yeah.
Screw it. 50 can't buy you anything these days.
Kobe beef.
Wagyu beef.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it. Reach out.
Yep.
My phone was 734-732-5185. Call me. We'll chat. Fly us in. I don't care where you live. Must be in America, though. I'm not getting a passport because mine's expired. Unless it's in the Caribbean or Hawaii. No, Hawaii is a freaking American, idiot. Jeez Louise. I just got to shut up sometimes. I need more coffee. I do. My blood runs on caffeine.
No, but if you want to,
The dark juice.
if you have rent that you're paying now and you want to see what it looks like, I mean, just give me a call.
Heck yeah.
We'll get one pretty much tailored to what you're looking at, what you want your monthly payment to be. That way you can physically see what county you're looking in, what your situation will look like.
No, not to like deflect everybody on Devon and me not do any of the work, but I honestly just believe it's such a financial conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you do. I mean, you run the numbers, you crunch the numbers and say, show you. I think it's true. I think I honestly believe if you're just, it doesn't even mean like, hey, I'm not even thinking about it.
Right.
But there is a little curiosity in my mind of what it would look like, and right, because the closing costs and what does it look like completely to buy, and I think it's a smart thing to do, even if you're not going to buy in the next year or 2 years. I mean, it's a that's a long time to think you're not going to buy.
Right.
Life changes pretty quick, but 6 months to 12 months, you don't think you're going to buy because of, hey, I'm still in college.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, maybe in a year or two, I will be, because I'll be graduated, hopefully with a good job right out of college.
Right.
And you want to know what it looks like. I think that's a smart thing to do, especially if that's you listening and you're in that boat right now. I think it's perfect time to just start having a conversation.
Yeah.
So you know what it looks like.
I mean, college doesn't have a course on anything like this to prepare you for
They should.
getting.
If you go to Florida, they will.
Yeah.
DeSantis put it into law of
Smart.
they have to teach finances. Yeah.
It
Like,
is
why
smart.
did it take us this long to get to that?
I don't know.
Because they know the smarter we are, the less money they will make off of us. Crumbles. But, no, I think it's good stuff. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job. Thanks for putting it together.
Yeah.
It's good stuff to talk about. And obviously, I think this is hopefully pretty good that you can both see us. You can both see our beautiful faces and the graph to kind of just show you. I know we've done numbers on the show before and no visuals.
Mm-hmm.
So this is good. So that the audience can see what we're talking about. They can see my hand waving and pointing.
It's a good wave.
Hello. From the other side of the screen. No, it was good. Any last comments from Devon Ka?
No.
All right.
Just like I said, if you want to know where you're at, what it would look like for you, let me know.
Do it. Seriously. It doesn't cost you anything. Nothing. I mean, heck,
5 minutes of your time.
he may invite you for an ice cream cone at Dairy King.
You know, maybe, because I haven't been yet, but it's always packed.
Dude, you have not been yet, and you've been downtown for how long?
No,
Dude, I gotta come show you the ropes.
I don't know. I don't eat.
Tell
when
you
I'm at
to
work.
tell you to you don't?
No.
I don't stop eating.
I'd be
Is that my
sleeping.
problem?
No.
I don't stop eating. Those frappe chinos.
Right?
No, it's good stuff. Good job. Thanks for putting together.
Yeah, no problem.
Hopefully you guys learned from that. Hopefully there were some golden nuggets that you can take from that. And honestly, reach out. We'd love to chat. And if you're renting and this was an eye-opener, really call us. Because you're probably a first-time home buyer, and I think I love first-time home buyers. They're so full of questions, and it's
Right.
fun. because I love talking.
No.
Well, hey, guys, that was a good one. Yeah, I'm Paul Seguin with eXp Realty.
I'm Devon Carr with Gold Star Mortgage.
This is the Carr and Seguin Show.
See ya.
The primary purpose of this podcast series is to inform, entertain, and educate. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast series do not constitute legal or professional advice, opinions, or endorsements of any kind. Gold Star Mortgage Financial Group, NMLS 3446, Equal Housing Lender.